All right, the Strugglers Club. We got a new member of the Strugglers Club. Let's welcome the LA Galaxy. Yes, the LA Galaxy has been relegated to the Strugglers Club. They are below 15 points. I don't know what's going on with the LA Galaxy. I don't know why they're losing matches that they're not supposed to lose. But maybe this Barcelona player is going to change things. The Puig, I think his name is Puig. I just know his last name is Puig. Maybe the Puig from Barcelona will keep LA Galaxy out of the Strugglers Club. Because, Chicharito, he's doing his part. Douglas Costa, maybe he just plays whenever he wants to show up. He just chooses whenever he wants to show up. But I think Puig will be the better sidekick to Chicharito. Because Chicharito, he's 34 years old, heading into his mid-30s now. He can't carry a team like he once could have when he was in his 20s. The man is entering his mid-30s. So he needs his teammates more than ever as he continues to get older. And maybe the Puig guy from Barcelona can have the same kind of impact on LA Galaxy similar to Cucho. Similar to how Cucho is having the impact on the Columbus Crew. We got some other teams that's trying to get out of the Strugglers Club. Remember a couple weeks ago, I told you, the teams that you saw in the Strugglers Club, that I don't see them leaving the Strugglers Club before All-Star break. And now we're in All-Star break. The same teams that I said 2 weeks ago was going to stay in the Strugglers Club, they're still there. Now, after the All-Star break, New England, Miami, Atlanta, Orlando, they could. Also, look at Colorado. Colorado got 6 total points this week. They got 3 points for beating the Red Bulls, and then they got 3 points for beating Minnesota. So Colorado had a good week. Chicago is no longer have negative points. They're down there at 23. And in the regular MLS standings, Chicago now has that 7th seed. So if the playoffs would start today, Chicago will be in. They're right on the playoff line as the last seed as number 7. But in my rankings, my point system, Chicago is nowhere near the playoffs. Because in my point system, you lose points for losing matches. Because I believe if you gain points for winning, you should lose points for losing. And now check this out on the right side. 25 through 28, the 0 and below club. The 0 and below club are basically teams that have no points. Charlotte, no points. Houston, Kansas City, no points. Even though it says -1 and -2, they basically don't have any points. I used the negative just to get an accurate view of who's really at the bottom and who's really at the top. That's why I include negative points, to truly see who is at the bottom and who is truly at the top. I try to be as accurate as possible with these brackets and in this point system. And teams that's in the 0 and below club, their coach should be on the hot seat. Like Kansas City, for example. Earlier this season, some people were saying Pete Vermees should be fired. And at the time I was thinking no, because look at this good run that they're having in the U.S. Open Cup. Even though they're not a supporter shield and they're not a playoff contender, at least they have an opportunity to win something. But ever since they got bounced out by Sacramento, a team that they're supposed to be better than, a team that they have more money than, a team that, regardless of injuries, they're supposed to have the better players. Kansas City was outplayed and outcoached by Sacramento. As a result of that, Pete Vermees should be on the hot seat. And if he's fired, there's nothing wrong with that. Because, the Kansas City was pretty good last year, and they probably had a successful run with Pete Vermees. But the league is getting tougher now. The league today is not what it was in the 90s, the 2000s, or the tweens. Charlotte, I know you had a coaching change in the middle of the season, but you can't use that as an excuse. NYCFC had a coaching change in the middle of the season. They're still in the Contenders Club. DC United had a coaching change in the middle of the season. As of right now, they're performing better than you, Charlotte. Well, same for you, Houston, Toronto. I don't know what's going on with Houston. And Toronto recently signed some good players, so the jury's still out for Toronto. So, in summary of this week, the team that was promoted, only one team that was promoted, and now Cincinnati to the Contenders. Only one team was relegated. LA Galaxy fell to the Strugglers Club. So teams that had the potential to promote coming out of the All-Star break. To Elite, NYCFC, if they win, they join the Elite Club. If Portland wins or have a score draw, they will become a contender. And remember, I don't award points for scoreless draw. If the final score in the game is 0-0, both teams leave with no points. Columbus, Salt Lake, Vancouver, and Minnesota, all of them have to win in order to get promoted to the contender club. Achiever, LA Galaxy, they have a chance to just be a struggler for 1 week. All they have to do is either win or have a score draw. And they're back into the Achievers Club. They're no longer with the losers. New England, Miami, Atlanta, and Orlando have to win in order to leave the Losers Club, to leave the Strugglers Club. In danger of relegation, Dallas and New York Red Bulls, they could fall to contender with a loss. Cincinnati will fall right back to Achievers. They're right at the borderline with 20 points. So with a loss, they can fall right back to Achievers right after the All-Star break. Also Nashville. It seems like Nashville is always on the borderline. It seems like they're either on the borderline with contenders with 15 points. Achievers with 15 points, or they're at the borderline with strugglers at 14 points. And it's because of their tough schedule, being a Southeast team playing a Western Conference schedule. So that does it for the AkWu Week 24 MLS rankings. Looking forward to Week 25, where every team will be well rested coming off of All-Star break. And starting in Week 25, that's when teams have to put their foot to the metal, like put the pedal to the metal. Because it's all about decision day coming up now. It's all about playoffs now. Like after All-Star break, it's the home stretch. The second half of the season was also important coming off international break. But there's a lot of business transaction going on with the summer market, and a lot of roster coaching changes and a lot of changes that teams had to get settled with and adjusted to. Now this third half of the season, the final half of the season, is like no more international plays going on, no summer transfer market going on. This is when teams will really be able to focus, and the true contenders are going to separate themselves from the pretenders.